Hey, Devin.
Hey, man, you didn't sound too excited to do that. Talk about that TikTok challenge thing.
Well, it's I feel like the youth of the world are at risk from TikTok, and I don't. When it comes to things that people used to not do, which involved the potential to kill themselves, I'm somewhat concerned. That's all. That's what.
He's just an old man, Devin.
Yeah. Courtney says, You're not a TikTok guy, are you?
Well, I have one, but it's struggling. I don't think I've posted on there in 4 months.
Are you a? We were talking about this earlier, and Wiggy and Courtney are weird. Are you on a day you're not playing football, regular day? Are you a shower in the morning or shower at night guy? Please don't tell me you're a shower both times person.
More at night, guys.
Yes. One for the good guys.
That's right.
Yep.
How do you not start the day with a shower?
Well, usually I like to map out my time to not have to shower in the morning. That takes too much time.
Oh.
But if I have to, I will.
Yeah.
But normally I like to get in my bed. I got my nice cooling pad and get in nice and fresh.
Uh-huh.
Who
wants to be all day just doing stuff and then get in bed and not have washed their ass?
Yeah, like that's how I feel. Like I like to, get in the shower right before bed.
Right.
Especially when you share a bed with someone.
Right. Yeah, true.
Yep.
All right. Well, listen. How was the week off?
It was good. It goes fast. It's known as a bye week, but it's really a 4-day break, and then you feel like you're right back to it. So it was good. Good to get away. I think the best thing is you're not preparing for a game that week, so get to spend more time with the family and doing different things. So that was good.
Jets on Sunday. You saw these guys recently. Is that an advantage?
I don't know. It's kind of weird. Like even watching film this week is just like, all right, like we played these guys. We know we had a bye week. Then you're like, oh, they had a bye week too. So, it feels like the new games to watch are the Buffalo game and then our game. I say that part's weird, but I would say because it's a division game, I wouldn't say either team has a huge advantage. It'll come down to really executing. I think both teams will have little new wrinkles just because of time. But I think it'll just come down to who executes better. Both teams know each other well, personnel-wise, know each other well from a scheme standpoint. So it'll just be who kind of goes out there and does better in their individual one-on-one matchups.
Devin, while watching film of the last matchup, what's one thing that you hope that the defense can improve on? Obviously, you guys won the last time, but obviously still want to do better than you did then.
Yeah, I think overall, watching it, you walk away and you feel like you played a pretty good game defensively. But I think when we watched the film, even after the game, there was, call it 10 to 12 plays that we felt, really could have changed the game that we didn't do a great job on. And I think different things changed the game, like the interceptions kind of made up for some of the things that we didn't do well that could have really impacted the game in a major way. So we talked about those again this week, kind of repeating coming off that game a couple weeks ago. So I would say those are the things that, we really have to do better. The long play by Mims towards the end of the fourth quarter really could have had a huge impact on the game. Just making sure we don't have those lapses as a defense is something that we talked about.
Dev, when you look at a game like this, you talk about the time between both games. It's not really a lot of time to, as an offense, add a bunch of wrinkles to maybe plays that you like to run. So defensively, do you look at some of the things that they might have had success on and go, okay, they didn't really have that much time to add some wrinkles, but we have to make sure we're better here because they would want to try to take advantage of what they did well against you last time?
Yeah, no doubt. I think looking at the plays that went well, looking at the plays, especially when you're in the secondary, looking at the plays that looked good, but maybe we got a sack. Maybe we got pressure to make Wilson roll out and he couldn't stay in the pocket long enough. And then also looking at your self-scout, plays that have given you trouble throughout the year. I think when you have a bye week, that's something you do, and I think that's probably something the Jets did too. as they're looking to have successful plays, I'm sure they looked at our past games and said, all right, what worked well against the Patriots that, when we look at our personnel and our roster, we can implement and do it pretty seamlessly. So you don't want to chase ghosts, but I think you do want to be well prepared on some things that might show up and things that you feel overall have a really good chance to show up. So that's definitely a part of the game plan and preparation this week.
How hard is it for you guys not to look ahead to the Vikings when it's on a short week and you guys are traveling with Thanksgiving? It just seems like this is going to be a tough one to, obviously you're focused on the Jets, but the Vikings are right behind you.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, that will be what it is. But I just think for what's in front of us right now, we don't have time to look ahead. Like we're not sitting here as this like dominant football team that just needs to worry about, the game after this game. Like we're last in the division and we're playing a team that's ahead of us in the division. Like to look past that game would just, it wouldn't even make sense for us. So I think it's been pretty easy to just focus in on the Jets. Minnesota will be what it is, but, I think we have a huge challenge, a team that we just beat a few weeks ago, and we know how hard it is to, beat the same opponent, especially in a short amount of time. So a lot of the focus, really all of the focus has been on the Jets this week and trying to get a win. And I would say even the bye week, there was focus on the Jets and knowing what we were going to have to deal with this week.
Did you enjoy doing CBS on Sunday? And Boomer Esiason said on this show on Monday that I think you said Wiggy was a clown. Is that accurate?
Yeah, we were just talking. For one, I had a great time up there. I learned a lot from all those guys, like just true pros and how they approach everything, and I think how they take the job and what they do with it. But yeah, he asked me about Wiggy. I was telling him how I met him, celebrity basketball, and always just telling jokes and cracking jokes. So. Good time. But, Wiggy, I was kind of depressed to see that you lost the catch-off.
Yeah, man.
I wasn't expecting to see that on my Instagram.
Listen, enjoy it while you're still playing because I'm washed up now and it went quickly. I didn't know the jugs machines are new or something. I must have had different jugs machines when we played because I could catch them.
At least you didn't have the low light, though. The ball hitting you in the face. Yeah, that's a pretty low light.
Yeah, that's the video that I'm going to tweet that out later.
Yeah,
but
that one is not going away, unfortunately. I don't think.
Yeah, that's rough. No one will talk about the win. They'll just talk about that.
Yeah. When you start to look at the second half of the season, you guys been in a situation where defensively you've had a really good first half, similar to this season. How do you make sure that you don't hit one of those walls or lulls where the second half isn't as good as the first half?
Yeah, I think it was, we talked about last week. I told guys like it's important. For the bye week to get away, like mentally, physically, to kind of just reset. Because, in this league, when you come back for this second half of the year, whatever you thought of the first part, this is just harder. You've been doing it longer. It's cold. You have other things that are going on, Thanksgiving, Christmas. Like this is the hard part of the year. So I thought it was key for us to kind of reset and, just be able to get away for a little while. But now I think not even just the back half, what we have in front of us, the quality of teams and all of that, it's just going to be important to put our best foot forward because we're going to have to. So I think everyone understands that. Now it's just about, going and getting it done. It's not talking about it each week or every day. It's just working on, how do you practice hard? How do you find the edge towards the end of the season? And, I think that's what we're going to try to do and try to play our best ball from this point on.
Devin McCourty is our guest on a Patriots Friday. Were you surprised with the way that some took your comment about Joe Judge?
I guess it's yes and no, but, that's the world we live in, so I didn't think it needed to be taken that way. But, when you say something, you have to always realize there's different ways that it can be understood and kind of comprehended. So whatever you say, you gotta kind of stand behind it and whatever comes from it, you got to be able to talk about. So it kind of is what it is at this point. I talked about it for like 30 minutes on Monday. But I think that's not the first time that's happened to me. So I fully understand that.
But to be clear, you're not putting tax on his chair at his desk or anything like that. You like the guy.
Yes, yeah, no doubt about it. Him and his whole family. They were neighbors to J-Mac in Jersey, so It's all love.
When you look at Zach Wilson, I think a lot of fans underestimate him and say that he's not that great of a quarterback. What's the hardest part about going up against him?
I think his ability. I think he's super talented, and the different throws he can make, his athletic ability to get outside the pocket and make plays. And I think that's why he got drafted high. That's why you see him make some of the plays he makes. But obviously when you have some bad plays in there, people will always focus on that. And I think he's probably well aware of that, playing in that area, similar to playing in this area, what you did last and how it kind of played out is what you'll get judged on the most. So we got to be ready. I thought he played a really good game against Buffalo, taking what was there. From an offensive standpoint, making some, key throws in that game and having a big drive at the end of the game to really put them ahead to win the game. So I think we got to be prepared for that version of him and coming out and executing their game plan and playing at a high level.
All right, Devin, we will let you get to work, but one thing before you go this week.
And now, a moment in which Courtney gets to say her piece.
Anything that you need to say? I cut you off the other day. It was a real issue.
Yeah.
Is there anything else before Devin goes? I want you to say your piece.
Okay, yeah, Devin, when you think about a future TV career, harder than you expect after looking at Sunday?
I wouldn't say harder because I know it's hard. But I would say there's just so many more things to learn doing it. Obviously, having my brother has been huge, just talking to him, even leading into Sunday. But there's so many things to be done, and watching the execution from production meeting to actual show was pretty cool to see.
All right, Curtis.
Sorry, Devin. Very quickly.
Actually, hold on a second, Curtis.
And now, a moment in which Courtney gets to say her piece.
I am going home.
Is it okay if Curtis says something before Devin
Curtis,
goes? Right,
you
go
have the
ahead,
floor.
Curtis.
Oh, Courtney, that is so gracious.
Yeah.
So, Devin, there's been a big talk this week or this season really, about are we judging Mac too harshly? Have the issues on offense been created by the staff or the schemes or whatever? Or is it Mac that's really the one who should have taken a step forward but didn't? The offense hasn't been what it was last year thus far. Why do you think that is, and which side of that do you fall
on? I don't fall on either side. I'm just excited for what we have in the back half of the year. It kind of is what it is, and I think we can't really ever worry about like what people think and what's this issue, whose fault is it. Like as a team, you got to just go and try to win football games. You can't worry about anything else. So I think that's the key. Not sitting here doing an interview or somebody else doing an interview saying, man, like if this would have happened, if we had this, if we could just do that, then that's easy to say, but, at the end of the day, there's a job to get done and we need to do it. So I think that's been my focus. I haven't even wasted any time and energy on the other part of whose fault is it or what should have been done. Like, to me, that's not important. It's about what we can do this back half of the year. And, what I've learned in this league and in this area, if the back half of the year goes well, no one will even care about what happened in the first half. So that should be our focus, and, that's what we need to do.
All right, go do your job. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll talk to you next week, Devin. All right?
Yeah, man, enjoy Courtney's news.
Tune in. It'll be a good one.
Yes.